My sister, the golden child, was the center of attention again. My revenge? A single Instagram post that everyone saw. The clinking of champagne glasses felt like a countdown timer to my own insignificance. The party was supposed to be for me, my promotion to senior partner. My name was on the frosted glass door of my new office. My photo was in the company newsletter. And for one brief, shining moment, I thought my family would finally see me. I stood there, holding a half-empty flute, listening to my boss praise my work ethic. But I was watching my mother's eyes dart towards the door, waiting for my sister Anna to arrive fashionably late. When she did, a hush fell over the room. Anna didn't walk, she glided. She was all sunshine and effortless grace, a stark contrast to my carefully constructed professionalism. "I'm so sorry I'm late," she breathed, her voice a melody. "Mark and I had the most wonderful news, and I just had to tell you all in person." She held up her left hand. A diamond the size of a small planet caught the light, fracturing it into 1,000 tiny rainbows that danced across the walls. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. My promotion was instantly forgotten. It was a footnote in the grand, dramatic novel of Anna's life. My father was the first to reach her, wrapping her in a bear hug. "My little girl!" he boomed. My mother was already weeping softly, clutching Anna's hand and admiring the ring. I felt a familiar, hot poison fill my veins. It was the taste of my entire childhood. The A+ I got on a calculus exam overshadowed by Anna's lead role in the school play. The university scholarship I won, ignored because Anna had just been voted prom queen. I could stand there and smile, swallow the bitterness until it settled into a hard knot in my stomach. Or I could do something else. I chose something else. While everyone swarmed her, I slipped my phone out of my purse. Anna had already posted a picture of the ring with the caption, "I said yes to my forever." Before I could stop myself, my thumbs were flying across the screen. I typed a comment below her post. "Wow, a promotion and an engagement all in one night. What a busy evening for the family." The moment I hit send, I felt a sick jolt of regret. My mother, who had glanced up from the ring, caught my eye from across the room. She didn't have to say a word. Her disappointed gaze was a physical blow. The backlash was immediate and brutal. My phone started vibrating with a fury I'd never experienced. First came the comments from Anna's friends under my own. "A little bitter, are we? Way to make your sister's special moment about you." Then came the private messages from my aunts and cousins. "That was uncalled for, Sarah. Anna is so happy. Why would you try to ruin that for her?" I felt the digital walls closing in. I tried to backtrack, deleting the comment, but it was too late. Screenshots had been taken. The narrative was set. I was the jealous, bitter older sister. Anna, of course, played her part to perfection. She replied to a few of her friends publicly. "It's okay, guys. Sarah's just had a stressful week at work. We all know how she gets." She was painting me as unstable, pitiable. It was masterful. The next morning, my parents called me in for a talk. It was less of a talk and more of an intervention. I sat on their antique sofa while they stood over me, a united front of disappointment. "We are deeply hurt by your behavior," my father began, his voice heavy with authority. "Your sister deserved her moment." "But it was supposed to be my moment too," I argued, my voice cracking. "That party was for my promotion." My mother shook her head, a familiar, sorrowful expression on her face. "Sarah, you are a successful lawyer. Anna is just starting her life with Mark. Can't you see the difference? Why must you always compete with her?" I was speechless. They didn't see it. They would never see it. I was the reliable, sturdy foundation, and Anna was the beautiful, delicate sculpture they placed on top. The foundation's only job was to be silent and strong. A week later, compounding my defeat, Anna announced an impromptu engagement party. It was scheduled for the exact same weekend I had planned a small getaway to celebrate my own success. "You'll cancel your trip, of course," my mother said, not asking. "The family needs to be there for Anna." I was trapped. To refuse would make me look even more monstrous. I was spiraling, defeated and utterly alone, forced to attend a party celebrating the very person who had made me invisible. That night, I scrolled through my phone, looking at old family photos, wondering if there was ever a time I wasn't living in her shadow. That's when I found it. Buried deep in our shared family cloud storage, a place I hadn't looked in years, was a folder labeled simply, Summer 2022. It wasn't protected, just hidden. Curiosity gnawed at me. I clicked on it. Inside were dozens of photos. Photos of Anna and Mark, laughing on a boat, kissing under a pier, tangled together on a beach towel. They looked blissful. My blood ran cold when I checked the timestamps. These photos were from June and July of 2022. Mark didn't break up with his long-term girlfriend, Anna's supposed best friend Chloe, until that September. The story everyone knew was that he and Anna had bonded over his heartbreak and fallen in love. The truth was far uglier. They had been having an affair for months. This was it. This was the silver bullet. This was more than just stealing the spotlight. This was a betrayal that would destroy her perfect image. I thought I had the ultimate weapon. That evening, I cornered Anna in the kitchen as she was tasting cake samples for the wedding she was already planning. I didn't say a word. I just pulled out my phone and showed her one of the photos. Her and Mark, kissing on the boat, the date clearly visible in the corner. Her face went pale. The smile vanished, replaced by a flicker of pure panic. For a second, I felt a surge of victory, but then her eyes narrowed. She took a deep, shaky breath and looked at me, her expression transforming into one of pained sincerity. "You found those," she whispered, a tear rolling down her cheek. "I was hoping no one ever would." She lowered her voice. "Mark, he was in such a dark place with Chloe. She was controlling, emotionally abusive. I was just trying to be there for him, to help him find the strength to leave. I was saving him, Sarah." I stared at her, stunned by the audacity of her lie. She was twisting her affair into a heroic act of rescue. "Do you have any idea what would happen if you showed those to anyone?" she continued, her voice trembling. "Chloe is finally happy now. You would drag her back through all that trauma, make everyone think she was the problem, just for a little bit of petty revenge." She had done it. She had turned my nuclear bomb into a landmine that would blow up in my own face. If I released the photos, I wouldn't be exposing a cheater. I'd be a monster attacking a savior and re-traumatizing an abuse victim. I was back in the cage, only this time, she had handed me the lock. I had never felt more powerless in my entire life. I walked away from her that night feeling lower than dirt. I had the truth, and it was completely useless. I sat in my apartment for hours, staring at the photo on my phone. The smiling faces of my sister and her fiancé, a monument to their deceit. She had outplayed me at every turn. But as I stared, something shifted. I wasn't looking at the lie anymore. I was looking at the performance. Their entire relationship, their entire image, was a performance. And performances are fragile. My mistake was trying to tear down the stage. I just needed to poke a hole in the curtain. I scrolled through the photos from my promotion party, the one where she had announced her engagement. I found the perfect shot. It was a candid photo of the three of us. Mark had his arm around Anna, who was beaming and showing off her ring. I was standing next to them, a tight, forced smile on my face. But to an outsider, it just looked like a family photo. I posted it to my Instagram. The image was innocent. The caption was the kill shot. I wrote, "So happy for you both. Some secrets are best kept in the family." I put my phone down and went to bed. I didn't have to wait long. The next morning, my phone was strangely quiet. No angry texts from aunts, no calls from my parents. Around noon, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was Chloe. Her voice was quiet. "I saw your post, Sarah. What secret?" I just said, I was just looking at some old photos from the summer of 2022. Funny how things change." I heard her sharp intake of breath. I didn't need to say another word. An hour later, Anna called, her voice a frantic whisper. Take it down right now." "Why?" I asked calmly. "It's just a nice family photo. Unless there's some reason you don't want people thinking about family secrets." The perfect world she had built began to crumble, not from a massive explosion, but from a single, well-placed crack of doubt. Chloe confronted Mark. Friends started asking questions. The pressure was too much. 2 weeks later, a short, terse announcement appeared on my mother's Facebook page. With heavy hearts, we announced that the engagement between Anna and Mark has been called off. We ask for privacy during this difficult time. My mother called me, crying, blaming me for putting a curse on their happiness. I listened silently. I didn't feel triumph, not exactly. I felt clear. I looked at the framed certificate for my partnership hanging on my wall. My revenge wasn't a single Instagram post. It was a single sentence. And the silence that followed was the sweetest sound I'd ever heard.